Hello there. If you've come to this video, you're probably looking for a little help on how to set up the indoor golf studio. So let's get you started. Okay, so let's briefly talk about the lighting here in the studio. Obviously, the darker you keep the studio, the better the projection screen will look. It's a personal preference. Some people like a lot of light to see the golf ball in their swing. Others like the graphics. Anyhow, the main overhead light, there is a switch. When you walk in the front door, there's a table on the right, and there's a switch that we're looking at sitting right there. You can use this to turn the overhead lights on. There is also a spotlight on all three walls adjacent to the projection screen. One or two of those should have been left on for you when you walked in the door. Okay, so now we're ready to start turning on equipment. Here's the cabinet where all the particulars are. There is our gaming tower. There is our launch monitor, GC2. And right next to it is the remote control for the overhead projector. And here's the monitor, mouse, and keyboard that we'll be using as well. So first thing, we're going to turn on the tower. The green light will come on. Next, we're going to take the GC2 out of the cabinet and power on in the lower left-hand corner. Both of these devices take a little bit to boot up, so I would do this first before moving on to any of the next steps. And lastly, we need to turn on the projector. Here's remote control. For some reason on this device, red means power on and green means power off. Point it at the front of the projector and let it cycle through. Okay, so now that we have everything turned on in the studio, we need to get connected to the Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, I do not have a hardwired internet connection, and we have to use a mobile hotspot. I do have a dedicated iPad for the mobile hotspot, but you might find it just as easy to use your own personal hotspot on your cell phone, especially if I run out of data for the month. Things will slow down a bit. So anyhow, let's look at how to hook up using the iPad that I have dedicated for the personal hotspot. And this will also refresh your memory on how to use the personal hotspot on your device as well. So we're just going to turn this on. There's no password. It should be left open to the personal hotspot page in settings. And then we go back to the computer. And at this point, we need to log into the computer. I may have deactivated the login, but if I haven't, the code is on the bottom left of the computer screen. And then once you are into the computer, we're going to connect to the Wi-Fi. So just like your computer at home, you would click the network tab at the bottom here and see the available networks. iPad is obviously for the iPad just displayed. You'd also see your personal hotspot listed here if you've connected it properly. Due to the nuances of my cellular plan, I do have a limit on how much high-speed data I have available each month. So if you don't mind using your own network, that would be awesome. Otherwise, feel free to use the iPad. Okay, so now that we're connected to the internet, it's time to load our GS Pro program. That will provide us the range graphics and the golf courses, all the data that goes along with it. A little bit about how this whole thing works, though, before we get started. There is a go-between program that GS Pro uses that connects the launch monitor to the software. It's very important that we let that program do its thing and connect via Bluetooth to the launch monitor. So once we get double clicked here on the icon and let it load up, you will see the Open Connect system start to load, and any updates as well as checking the license files will happen right here at this moment. So let it do its thing, and once we get going here, you will see the window pop up like that. Okay, and the next window to pop up will be this one right here, and we'll simply just press play and then let the program load itself. This might take a minute or two. If this takes too long, that means that the Wi-Fi signal that you're using is too weak or too slow. So you're going to want to maybe change Wi-Fi networks. Now we come to a very important part as the program loads. That is the go-between software. You can see right here that the bar up on top is green. That means that the system is connected. If that bar were to be red, then you would be not connected between the launch monitor and the software. And so you'll need to wait at least a minute before we press the panic button and determine that the Bluetooth signal is not working. If that bar remains red, please refer to the troubleshooting section at the end of the video for possible solutions. So lastly here, you want to minimize that. Do not close it out because that will lose the connection. And now we're ready to move on to how to operate the software. Okay, so we're just about ready to start using the GS Pro software. There's two main features that you're going to want to use here. There's the local match feature, which we're highlighted on right now, and the practice feature. Okay, after clicking on the practice feature, you'll see that we have the driving range. There's on-course practice, where you can pick a hole on a certain course and practice the same shot over and over again. And skills challenges, which are a combine type of format with a set amount of shots from certain distances. Okay, so let's take a look at the driving range. We can see you got a nice view here, some canyons. On the left-hand side, we've got our directional factors of side spin and backspin and launch angles, vertical and horizontal launch angles. Those will tell you why your ball is going left or right, basically, and why it didn't get up in the air. And we can also scale back and forth and make the driving range shots shorter and longer if you want to work with a specific distance. Then on the right hand side we have our distance factors as well. So you can check out your carry distance, how far it went with roll, ball speed, and so on and so forth. And while there's many features and nuances to GS Pro, I'll just give a brief overview here. If you click that top right corner, you get the game menu. You can get into settings. In the settings, there's lots of options. Here's just some practice settings where you can change the tracer's look that you're going to get in the driving range. Give some overlapping from there. There's plenty of features to explore, and feel free to click around. Just like any computer, you can always exit to get yourself back or reboot if you get lost. Well, there's plenty of other stuff to discover with regards to playing golf courses and some of the other awesome features of the program, but let's get started on hitting some balls and going over where we need to place the launch monitor to have success. Okay, now we've taken our launch monitor and put it on the hitting mat, and we're going to get ready to hit. So the biggest thing right now is to make sure the eye of the launch monitor is finding the golf ball. You can see the position of the golf ball is approximately 18 inches from the unit and about 6 inches behind the unit as well. The camera needs to pick up the action of both this club coming in and the ball being struck. Once you get the ball in this general position, you will see that the camera will start recognizing the golf ball. Now you can see if you look here that the black dot of the golf ball is in the right window of the launch monitor, or just on the edge of it actually, and we're going to need to move it around to get that light to shine green and read the golf ball. Okay, you can see I just moved it a couple of inches and now it's reading the golf ball and we're ready to hit. Okay, just a few more words on the launch monitor and the positioning of the unit. One thing to be very careful is make sure you set the unit square to your target lines. Obviously, the panels of the hitting mat are a great parallel line to square yourself up on, and this is a great habit to get yourself into to make sure your alignment works on the course well. You can see here in the video I am plugging the unit in. That's going to charge it while I hit, so the next person that uses it will have a fully charged unit. Of course, a lefty is going to have to go without a charge probably. Of course, they could also take the charging plug and take it off the outlet and charge it up from the other side as well if needs be. But again, the point being, make sure you set it up squarely, because your output of your results will only be as good as how accurate you set that unit parallel to your target lines. Other than that, for lefties, no other adjustments, just need to move the unit to the other side of the mat and you'll be good to go. Just like with any computer, a lot of times the best course of action is to just turn everything off and turn everything back on in the order you're supposed to do it. But there is one hack that can help you mid-game save the day here, and that's if you go into the same settings that you were looking at earlier and you go to all the way to the left and click under game and then go to Reset GS Pro Connect. That's that little go-between program. And a lot of times, if you just let that thing cycle back up, it will find the launch monitor, and red will go to green, and you don't have to turn everything off and start over again. But if that doesn't work, I would definitely go with the method of turning everything off and rebooting. Otherwise, for all other issues that may come up, you're always welcome to give me a call on my cell phone, which I'll leave up here. And if I'm available, I will definitely talk you through it. Sometimes FaceTime works really well for that too. So good luck out there. So it's probably pretty cold outside, and it could be very cold in the shed too. But I do have a couple of devices to help you out with that. We've got the mini split here that will kind of run in the background during the evening and keep it a little bit above what is outside. And then we also have the coil space heater to kind of radiate straight down your face. And that's easily adjusted. 3 different settings here. You might want to turn off the mini split while you're inside, because it does suck some decent energy, and it is possible if everything's running you could break a fuse there. So you also have the blaster here, the DeWalt, that runs on propane. A little intimidating to look at first, but it's just as easy as running your grill. So first things, you're going to turn the gas on. It should be turned off. It's easy enough, right? And then you're going to come over to the unit, and everything should be hooked up. You're going to turn on the blower fan by pressing that button. The green light comes on. At this point, you will then ignite it on the left-hand button. Of course, there is some directions right there as well, but you're going to hold that, and it should trigger the ignition and light the flame. Okay. Once that flame is lit, you're going to hold it for about 30 seconds. you'll actually feel a little valve depress eventually. That means that you can take your finger off the button, and then you can adjust accordingly the amount of heat you want there with that second knob next to it. It looks kind of intimidating, but again, you can stand pretty close to it actually, and it is a nice way to bring the heat up real quick if you're one of the first ones in there that day. So my suggestion is maybe get there a little bit early, crank this bad boy on and high for about 20 minutes. Should bring you up to about 60 degrees or even higher, and then you can cut this off because it is a little loud. And the space heaters and the mini split should keep it regulated to your temperature. Once you're hitting some balls and moving around, you should find it pretty comfortable in there. Lastly, I just wanted to let everybody know that I usually keep some nice training aids on hand there. Orange whips, orange whip wedge, some putting aids. Feel free to use anything that's been left out there. Um, Anything to help your game, right? We've also got some, you know, easy to use tripods to, record your swing, and you can always send those videos to me via on form. There's a fridge to bring some drinks if you need to keep it cold. There's a few things in there as well. And I've got some golf balls on hand, your favorite brands as well, so that you don't have to hit any old junky range balls. And then there's a handy charging station here for all our devices as well. Well, I hope you found that video informative. And of course, if you have any questions or would like to book some time to spend with me to work on your game, feel free to reach out, and let's use this tool to get ourselves ready for the coming season. Take care.